afternoon vinyl community, afternoon vinyl community Aris here, with another video, another charity shop find and record fair. Record fair here, it's only about a mile and a half down the road. Record fair is last Saturday of every month where I live, so you know, probably might, if I carry on doing these videos, might be a regular thing, who knows. But yeah, good, it was really impressive at the record fair today actually. I think post-COVID, as much as I wish COVID hadn't happened and loads of my mates are on their arse or lost their jobs and I'm clinging on to mine, I think a lot of people are offloading a lot of vinyl because they've had a chance to, there's a lot of DJs around here and stuff like that, and they've had a chance to look at their collections, and yeah, there's a lot of vinyl, and today's was pretty impressive, I've got to say. There was a lot of stuff. I got a joke as well. I was talking to a bloke, we were talking about George Michael's album, Older, goes for about 800 quid, 900 quid on vinyl, because it came out at the height of the CD age, and I was told a George Michael joke when Darth Vader walks into HMV and says, "Can I have the first George Michael album, please?" And the assistant says, "We haven't got it." And Darth Vader says, "I find your lack of faith disturbing." Yeah. Boom. They're the levels I'm working on. Straight. You don't get the vinyl guru doing this. That's probably why she gets 25,000 views, to be honest. But yeah, that's my. I'm not really into Star Wars, to be honest. But even I understood that. But anyway, first up, charity store buy. And last time I did charity store buys, I got a lot of comments from people, all very nice comments by the way, but people are like, "Oh, I can't believe you found that in a charity shop." And don't feel that these are cheap. This record is probably about the fourth most expensive, the fourth most I've ever paid for a record. And we got a lot. I mean, I was counting it up. I mean, I'm within 2 miles of what, 40, 50 charity shops probably, if you count the town centre. And they're all little. I think in America maybe you get big charity shops, like you get like an out of town big, so they probably just get raided. But in the UK, I think maybe you've got, I mean, some people in the UK will disagree probably, but there's a lot of charity shops around here. So yeah, occasionally something will come in, but this was not cheap, but I've always wanted this. X-Ray Spex, Germ-Free Adolescence, one of the great punk. I'm not a huge fan of UK punk albums. I think it's a singles market, you know, it's best heard on singles. I was trying to do my top 5 UK punk albums. I love post-punk and what came after that. And I couldn't really name 5. If I was doing a 4, it would be like the first Damned album, number 4. Number 3 would be Inflammable Material by Stiff Little Fingers. Number 2 would probably be this, Germ-Free Adolescence, X-Ray Spex. Number 1 would probably be Another Music in a Different Kitchen by Buzzcocks. And yeah, amazing. Polystyrene. I always seem to be saying this, don't I? A troubled individual, suffered from mental health issues. I think her mother was Scottish and her father Somalian, and grew up in London. And a superb record. Only put out one record. Absolutely, the guitar. It's just, the production's bang on. It's not budget production, but it's not overblown production. The guitar tones are brilliant, and the songs are artificial. Obsessed with You, Warrior in Woolworths, what a classic. I'm a Poser, I Live Off You, The Day the World Turned Day Glow. I mean, it's absolutely magnificent, isn't it? With a bit of saxophone on here as well, squawking away. And I just wish it had Oh Bondage Up Yours, which is my all-time favourite. But yeah, always wanted this. Wasn't a cheap charity shop buy in the slightest, but it was this week's petrol money that I saved, so I splurged on that. And it's a UK original. The sleeves, the old sleeves are so lovely. So I'm a bit into mid-design, and it's just another world to modern sleeves. But anyway, that's me one charity shop buy. Next up, this was the record fair buy today. Always wanted this. Enjoy the Silence, Depeche Mode. It's a 12-inch single. Not the easiest to find anymore, but I know everyone at these record fairs, and I can always get a deal nowadays. I think I've put most of their kids through college over the last 40 years, most of these dealers. So yeah, they're always happy to lop off pretty decent discounts. And I really wanted this, A, because I think it's one of the best songs of the 90s, and B, it's got the Francis Kevorkian sort of remix on it, which is called Ecstatic Dub and the Hand and Feet mix, which aren't radically different. The Ecstatic Dub isn't really dubby, but it's an instrumental, and the Hands and Feet remix is more like a stripped down version. And what an amazing tune this is on 12-inch single. Enjoy the Silence, Depeche Mode, one of the great electronic singles of the 90s. Next up, don't own an album by this band. Bought this today at the record fair. Dr. Feelgood, Stupidity. It's their live album. In a kind of weird way, Dr. Feelgood were kind of like the UK equivalent of, excuse me, like the Ramones or the Dictators. Not that they sounded like the Ramones or Dictators, but in a way that those two bands decided to, you know, let's start again and strip it down and talk about stupidity and McDonald's or White Castle burgers or chainsaws or watching TV all day. Dr. Feelgood, who came from Southend, which is kind of like the American equivalent of New Jersey, I suppose, were really influenced by probably early Who, R&B, that guitar R&B, and they just stripped it down. This is from 75. They were pre-punk really, but a huge influence on punk. A lot of the punk bands like The Clash, I think the Sex Pistols used to go and watch Dr. Feelgood. They're quite a big band actually in the UK, but this is their live album. I think this is their strongest moment. I don't own any of their other albums. I've heard a lot of their other stuff. The first two albums are meant to be good as well, Down by the Jetty and Malpractice. But yeah, this is really raw, just brilliant stuff. Wilco Johnson, the guitar player, is an absolute loon. He shouldn't even be alive. He had cancer about 10 years ago, and they gave him about 6 months to live, and bless him, he's still going. But yeah, it's a great album. Fantastic. Stupidity. Side 1 live in Sheffield, side 2 live in Southend. Well worth getting. As I've said on previous videos, if you do watch my previous videos, my midlife crisis is reassemble all my Smith singles, as long as I can find them for under 13 quid and in decent condition. The singles that I sold in 1992 for 50p each. I found another today. I had to bargain a little bit on here. I had to put all my bargaining skills into play, but heaven knows I'm miserable now. Fantastic. And the front cover, another fantastic Joe Slee sleeve. Win, 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 Viv Nicholson. Maybe the first ever reality star. She was a real working class northerner, Viv Nicholson. And she won the pools, or her fella won the pools, which was about 200,000 in 61, so a huge amount of money. And she just wasn't built to cope, and she went absolutely off the scale. She was buying stuff left, right and centre, and the media got hold of her, and her life crumbled within about 5 years. And so yeah, there was a stage show about her actually in about 1998 called Win Win Win, because she was known as Win 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 Viv Nicholson. And yeah, fascinating character, Viv Nicholson. She appears on another Smith sleeve as well, Barbarism Begins at Home. Fantastic stuff. This is great. It's Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now. These three songs in here are a Johnny Marr masterclass. Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now, which is amazing. You know, Johnny Marr does that sort of almost Hawaiian thing where I don't know how you do that, tremolo, something like that. Girl Afraid, which might be Johnny Marr's best moment. Rockabilly, amazing. So hard to play. Apparently it's almost impossible to play that if you don't know what you do. And Stuff for Little Children, which obviously brought Morrissey to complete notoriety because it's a song about the Moors murders in the 60s, and people thought he was, well, it's a really touching song about the Moors murders, including one of his most iconic lines, which is, "Oh Manchester, so much to answer for." And obviously the Sun newspaper got hold of it and decided that Morrissey was glorifying child murder, which was utterly ridiculous. As it turns out, Morrissey ended up making friends with the parents of the Moors murders, and they realised it was totally heartfelt tribute, and it's a fantastic tune. But all the tunes on here are fantastic. Viv Nicholson, yes, also on Barbarism Begins at Home cover, which is another great tune. Next up, this is again a record fair bear. I had to bargain a bit for this, but to be honest, this is kind of almost Grail territory. Dr. Alimantado, what a sleeve! The best dressed chicken in town. Where I grew up, I mean, I sort of got shuffled around when I was young, but it was almost quite culturally diverse areas. I sort of moved from Slough to Elephant and Castle to Camden before moving to Southampton. And this record in the 70s, I mean, reggae was huge wherever I lived. I mean, I think when I saw the Show You Reggae stuff from Americans, it really pointed out the difference between reggae in England and reggae in America, because someone described that reggae in London is equivalent to salsa in New York, which is probably a pretty good description. It was everywhere when I grew up, and everyone's older brother had this record, The Best Dressed Chicken in Town by Dr. Alimantado. Also, Johnny Lydon of the Sex Pistols, he did a radio show with Tommy Vance in '77 where he picked his favourite songs. And he picked a Dr. Alimantado song. He picked a lot of reggae. He picked all unusual choices he picked, actually. It's well worth looking at the track listing. Tommy Vance, 1977. Yeah, he picked Dr. Alimantado's Born for a Purpose, which isn't on here. which is an amazing song. It's well worth looking up. But yeah, this is fantastic. Just one of the great reggae albums. This ain't in great nick. I've had to bargain him down on this as well. It's a little bit pops and crackles. I might have to stick it through the cleaner, but I got it for an insanely low price. But to be honest, I think it's struggling a bit, this one. But I never thought I'd probably own a UK pressing of this. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed to get it, and I'll do a bit of work on it. But yeah, got the incredible Poison Flower on it as well. But yeah, Born for a Purpose is the one as well. Next up, Primal Scream 12-inch, Don't Fight It, Feel It. This is the Graham Massey remix. Graham Massey was in 808 State, and this is very different to the Screamadelica version of Don't Fight It, Feel It, with the sort of whistle sound that goes through it. This is a proper reboot made for the dance floors, and it's pretty good actually. It's got some nice bass on it, and it flies along, and yeah, fantastic stuff. Denise Johnson, who sang on it, again, sadly died last year. I was really gutted. She was a fantastic singer, and yeah, but yeah, Primal Scream, Don't Fight It, Feel It, 12-inch, Graham Massey remix. Got this pretty cheap, and really pleased to get it actually. And last up, a kind of compilation. This Dexys Midnight Runners. This is I love Dexys, and this is like a collection of their early stuff. I imagine this is one of those, like, when a band gets popular and they try and sell them to like America or Europe. This seems like one of those compilations. It's got Gino on it, which was their first UK #1. Plan B, which was an amazing song off 2YA. Then it's got some great Northern Soul covers. Obviously, like a lot of UK sort of artists from that era, they love Northern Soul. You know, you look at even people like Bowie were Northern Soul fans, but you know, the best way known one would be Soft Cell, I suppose. Tainted Love, sort of Northern Soul cover, and this has got Breaking Down the Walls of Heartache on it, which is a fantastic track, which I think was by Johnny Johnson and the Bandwagoners, I think, if I remember rightly, from the 60s. And he also he does Soul Finger on here, and The Horse, which was a Northern Soul instrumental, and I can't remember who did The Horse at all. But yeah, this is great. Just absolutely upbeat, sort of a real Northern Soul sound on this. Fantastic, and it's got maybe their greatest single, which is There My Dear, which I first saw them do on the Young Ones in the 80s. They did it on the Young Ones, and it's an absolute soul stomper. There My Dear. So fantastic stuff. So yeah, Dexys Midnight Runners compilation. So that's my records I've got today, and thanks for watching, and I'm sure there'll be some other videos soon. Cheers.